there are too many restrictions, there are too many doubts, there are too many uncertainties going forward that really keeping people in chains before they can make any decisions about going forward. The company I ran, Coors was part of the brewery. We spun off all the non-brewing assets in 1993, creating two companies, one of them called ACX Technologies, the other, of course, was the brewery. And during the whole process of this, we were able to take, I was able to take Coors Tech private, public first, and then later on private. So I've been had the whole experience of playing the Wall Street game and seeing how capitalism really works. Now the success of this country is really founded on the entrepreneur. It's founded on American capitalism, and we've just got to unleash the restraints are put on that if we're going to grow and we're going to prosper. Took the company, Coors Tech, the time I inherited it was really a stepchild of the brewery. Piled up a lot of negative cash flow over the years, and I was pleased to be able to turn it around and create a positive cash flow situation for the family and for the company. And gee whiz, we actually made money. It shouldn't be assumed to make any money. And somehow corporate America is penalized for making money. You talk about the oil profits. Nobody ever talks about Apple's profits. Apple's profit margins are what, 27%. Oil's about 5%. So it's kind of unfair what's happening to how the EPA is really starting to. We're being run by the environmentalists back there. I mean, you talk about the Keystone Pipeline, for example, an opportunity to create tens of thousands of jobs, plus the trickle-down effect of those jobs, because the environmentalists don't want a pipeline. And I think that's just nonsense. But I'm still optimistic. We get fun. With creeds like yours going forward, I have great reason to believe that the American public will understand the messages and will act accordingly. Let me close by saying a couple of personal things. My daughter, Darden Coors, who's a lawyer for the company, was in junior high, 7th grade junior high, and was in the Optimist debating club. And she didn't win, but she wanted me to thank you all for sponsoring the 7th grade debating group back at Manning in those days. And I was reflecting on my early years, and I was in the 6th grade when I played on an Optimist basketball league in Golden, Colorado, in the upper floor of the old Armory. That was my first exposure to the Optimist club back in those days. So, anyway, I want to thank you very much for the time I've had with you today, and if there are any questions, I'll be glad to.
Just one comment about land of opportunity. My grandfather came over here from Germany, my grandfather from Germany, and he bought some land in 1876 out of 72nd and Sims. And Mom telling me about they grew barley there as well as fruit, being in the wagon, taking barley up to the Coors plant, and your great-grandfather, Adolf Coors, and he shoveling the barley out at the brewery to make beer. So you talk about, person starting from the ground up. Whereas your great-grandfather and my grandfather, it was an interesting story.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, sir.
Mr. Coors, can you kind of give us a couple of points as to how you differ in your philosophies from your opponent?
I will, but I was advised that this wasn't supposed to be a partisan.
Oh,
So I keep permission from your
don't do that.
from your president to do that, and I just assume not.
Okay, good, that's fine. Well, then my story is I am housed in a building that is just a bit older, a year younger than the Coors plant. My building was built in 1874. And we had a cabin up in the Apex Valley that sat on the road that took the wagons from Golden up to Apex, which during that period of time, Apex is at about 10,000 feet, and it was under consideration for being the capital of the state of Colorado. So a lot of history there as well.
And the brewery was founded in 1873, which is before statehood, you all know. And, I had an opportunity to address a commencement for Colorado School of Mines one year, and I apologize if they weren't getting degrees and minors in brewery tours. But the mines couldn't be founded, it was founded in 1874, so there was a brewery in town, so they knew where to go to drink. Yes, sir.
This will be a nonpartisan question, but you talked about growth, and obviously we need that growth, but we have so many things like Social Security and Medicare and those kinds of things that are just time bombs waiting to happen. What are your plans to address those issues?
Well, you probably read in the paper, the Social Security Trust Fund, if you will, runs out, pick a date. There's so many variables in there, but I will tell you that I'm a firm believer that federal government mandated health care is not sustainable fiscally and financially. And we've got some reform things that need to happen back there. The Ryan Wyden plan is an interesting way to start that, because that's bipartisan possible legislation. But we've all in this room contributed to the Social Security Trust Fund. Unfortunately, I believe it was Lyndon Johnson took all that money and put it in the general fund back when he was president. So we can't segregate it anymore. It just becomes an accounting line item. And what's the average person's going to put in $100,000 and take out $300,000? Who's going to pay for that? It's gotten to the point where we're living longer, we're happier lives, but at the same time, we're on the brink of, in the not too distant future, of running out of money to be able to fund those payments to our seniors. Yes, sir.
Maybe you could just share with the group. Let me give you I'm a little upset with all of our politicians, and I'll tell you why. Whether D, R, independent, this is not anything partisan, but they say they're to represent the people, and I don't think they're representing the people. I think when they get up into that big meat grinder up there, it gets into that partisanship, and they just get swept up in it, and I just don't see where the people are benefiting from their elected officials who are elected to represent the people. What are some of your thoughts? And I mean, a lot of people have said, I'm going to break the chain, and very few do. So what do you think? Well,
I agree with you. If I didn't think I could make a difference in that respect, I wouldn't be running. But it's a meat grinder back there, and one of the problems is that the legislation gets so diluted because of add-ons. They're trying to address that right now, but take, for instance, this recent thing about the student loan rates. It's not just about student loan rates that you're voting on. Now you've got another thing to contest with a health care provision that's going to fund the $6 billion of shortfall for the student loans if they don't collect that money. So it's I talked to Mike Hoffman, I talked to Scott Tipton and Corey Gardner,